G'day, mate. Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully I didn't butcher that too badly. I probably did, but what can you do? You can't win them all. 10 crazy Aussie phrases that will confuse Americans and possibly Canadians. My name's Mace, coming to you from Canada. Let's hop into it. We got a kangaroo running across the outback. Let's go.
No, what is fair dinkum?
I don't know the answer to that
Fair
question.
dinkum? What is
Australian
fair dinkum?
slang can be a whole different language. It's like a secret code that only Aussies
He's the Guy Fieri of languages.
understand, and it's deeply rooted in our country's culture and lifestyle. From laid-back surfer vibes to the rugged outback, Aussie slang is a reflection of our nation's spirit, and it's what makes Australian English so unique and fascinating. So stick around.
I do have to say, I really do love Aussie slang. It's fantastic. The Aussie sense of humor, too. I think us Canadians, we definitely share a lot, comedically. And it's something I think us Canadians are proud of, our shared, some of our shared cultural loves.
As I'll give you some tips on what to expect when conversing with a bloke or a Sheila
All right.
down under.
Can you hear the thunder? Oh, you better run, you better take cover.
US News recently listed Australia as the 6th friendliest place in the world, behind countries such as Canada, Spain, and New
Sorry,
Zealand.
guys.
Surprisingly, they rated the US at number 42, even behind France, Switzerland, and Germany. Now, as a reminder, I'm an Aussie
A world's friendliness probably relates to device usage, and device usage lower, probably friendlier people.
living in the United States.
totally talking out
and
my-
I will say,
talking out my ass
whoever
there.
did that survey needs to come to the South, where friendliness is second nature. Make of that
Southern
what you will, but there
hospitality.
is one thing that will go a long way to making your trip down under or an interaction with an Aussie even friendlier, and that is understanding some of the following phrases that we use on a daily basis. Take, for instance, the phrase fair dinkum.
Fair dinkum?
You've never heard of that?
No, what is fair dinkum?
I don't know the answer to that question. Well, if I was to say something
Gotta say, love Guy Pearce, fantastic actor.
to you, like some sort of far-fetched story or something that was really, that you really couldn't believe, you would say, fair dinkum? And I would say, fair dinkum.
Sounds simple enough, right? And
I'm
honestly,
gonna start
that's
using
just
fair
the tip of
dinkum.
the iceberg. There are heaps of Aussie expressions that can leave you scratching your head, wondering what planet the speaker is actually from.
Oh, it has an origin.
Speaking of heaps, now I always get strange looks when using this word,
Oh, no.
but it's really
an
a common
advertisement.
word that we use all the time.
Wait,
Thanks
is
heaps
it?
for your
Oh, no,
help,
it's not.
or
Never
we
mind.
had heaps of
It's
leftovers.
an Aussie slang.
It simply means to have a
Heaps.
lot. Now, contrary to what you may be thinking,
I've definitely used heaps before, so yeah, we got heaps left.
the classic yeah, nah means no, and it's not to be confused with
Yeah,
the
nah.
yeah, which means yes.
Eric Bana.
She'll be right. Now, this is one of my common
She'll be
phrases.
right.
I say it without even thinking half the time. Stand still for a short time in Australia, and you will probably hear this phrase thrown around somewhere as well. Did you want me to stay at work until close? Yeah, nah, she'll be right, mate. You can go home now. It means it will be fine. It's a favourite expression by many Aussies. The car
Okay.
park.
Car park.
Now, I've had to train myself not to say this in the US, as it's known here as a parking lot. The amount of blank stares I received when first telling someone I was just walking from the car park or that I'd pick them up in the car park were crazy. I never knew it was a misunderstood term. So when you hear an Aussie
I work with an Aussie and a Kiwi, and it's always interesting hearing their phrases or what they refer to things of. Like the garbage bin. I guess we do call it bin, but yeah, rubbish. He would probably use rubbish, the Kiwi.
mentioned the car park, we mean the parking lot. A fortnight. Now, who knew that this was not
2
a
weeks.
term in America either? I found out
I shall be there in a fortnight.
shortly after meeting my team here, and I told them to diarise a fortnightly meeting, and I was met by blank stares. A fortnight is bi-weekly in America, or in other words, every 2 weeks. Now, I'd never heard of it being called bi-weekly before.
It was like an old English
so
word.
we all learned something new that day. Macca's. Macca's is the slang name for McDonald's in Australia and New Zealand as well.
Macca's?
reason behind why the country decided to shorten the name is pretty much because Australians will shorten anything.
Wait, I didn't know that the branding was literally Macca's. I thought it was still McDonald's, just everybody referred to it as Macca's, and it was...
McDonald's even use the term in their advertising in Australia. We have a long list of shortened words.
Big Brekkie Burger.
Try these ones on for size. Chocky, Mozzie, Lippy, Pokies, and lastly, a Yui.
Yui, yeah.
Mates
Pull a
rates.
Yui.
Now, if you've got a mate who is a tradie, then this might be one that you will use at some point if you need some work done around the house. Mates rates refers to getting a discount for services. Got a blocked dunny? Call your mate who's a plumber and ask him for mates rates. It might cost you a 6-pack or a carton or 3 cartons, but you'll come out in front in the end, I'm sure. Following on from this, a cashie is when you're getting a job done or buying something off the books, meaning paying cash for it to get it cheaper. How did you find it? It doesn't mean what it says. It means how was it? So, how did you find that restaurant the other night means was the food any good? Not did you use a GPS or a map to get yourself there? How did you find the barber down the street means was he any good at cutting your hair? A galah. Well, firstly, a galah is also known as a rose-breasted.
So a lot of the slang so far is recognizable, and I love it. Some of them I use pretty often. Some of them I hear fairly often. Certain ones I don't think are used very often in Canada, like tradie. I was trying to think actually during that segment of what similar word that we would use or what corresponding word that we would use for like an electrician or a plumber or somebody that works in the trades, but I couldn't really think of one. We just like refer to every subsection of trade as like their own distinctive. We just call them electricians or plumbers or
cockatoo. You see them in most parts of Australia.
How do you find it?
As for the term, it's often used as a term for someone who's been silly or mucking around. It's not a derogatory term. I'd even call my kids galahs if they were being funny or being cheeky. Chucking a sickie. Do this too many times, especially on a Monday or a day after a public holiday, and you may find yourself getting written up or going down to Centrelink permanently.
I'd be getting written up quite a few times, I tell you.
Chucking a sickie means to take a sick day off work, though you're not actually feeling unwell. So think of a day off, usually self-inflicted by a big weekend or a big night out.
Really take it out of you. So to recover, I'll be chucking a sickie for the mountain. You with me?
Having a sticky beak.
Might just have to chuck a sickie tomorrow, you understand?
This means to have a close look at something
Nosy.
and often carries an element of sneakiness about it. So looking under the tree at Christmas time or in the pantry for something to eat that you may not be allowed to have. Having a yarn.
Relatable.
It has nothing to do with knitting or crocheting.
Telling a story?
If you are an Australian getting together with some mates, you're probably having a yarn, which means you're having a conversation. Spinning a yarn means telling stories, like the fish that got away, which was the biggest one that you've ever seen, or that set you caught at Thirroul that was amazing when really you slept in and you didn't go for a surf at all. No dramas or no worries, no stress, all good. These are just everyday things that you will hear an Aussie say, and to be honest, for Australians, it sums up our generally carefree attitude to life, not getting too stressed about things, and just going with the flow. Running, riding. Do they even teach this in school?
So no worries, obviously, even I know that's a very, very loved Aussie slang term.
Anymore?
But
in the
I
US,
use no worries
they
all
call
the
it
time.
cursive.
I use no worries all the time. It's just you guys sound cooler when you say it because your accents are nicer than ours.
But growing up for me in Australia, it was always called running riding. And from what I can gather,
Running riding
we're
is
the only
handwriting?
country in the world that calls it this. Let me know in the comments if your country also calls cursive running riding. A goon bag. Uni students across the country love this one. This term
A bag of
relates to
wine?
boxed wine or a wine cask, and it's the silver bag that's inside of it. It goes a step further. Ever heard of that TV show, The Wheel of Fortune?
From the 7 Network Studios, it's Australia's favourite game, Wheel of Fortune. Now for Friday, welcome the star, Rob Elliott.
We have the Goon of Fortune. The aim is to be the last person standing who hasn't piked out, in other words, given up, from drinking the goon, or until the goon bag is finished. A goon sack
Talk about chucking a sickie.
is pegged on a clothesline, which we typically call a hills hoist. Players sit underneath it at the edges and agree on how much wine each win involves. One player then spins the hoist, and when the spin stops, the winner nearest to the bag must drink that amount. Bushfires. A bushfire is a distinctively Australian word, and what we call a bushfire is called a wildfire everywhere else in the world. So telling someone in the US about a bushfire can bring some strange looks, as a bush is typically what we think of as a map of Tassie. So talking about a bushfire might see someone offering some cream.
He should explain that better. Like a bush we'd think of as a map of Tassie. I know what it means, but that's pretty humorous. I wouldn't say that Americans or Canadians, if you said bushfire, I don't think they're gonna think of that. They're just gonna think you mean like a wildfire. I think bushfire is pretty widely used now, and then we're all using our devices so often anyways. Like we're on social media, and you might need an antibiotic. Bushfire. Okay, bud.
Or ending the date early. Have a good one, mate. Now, I use this all the time as well.
I use have a
Typically,
good one all the time.
yeah, no.
My boss always used to say, "Have a good what?" Like, have a good. She'd say, "What do you mean, have a good one? Like, have a good what? Well, have a good day. Have a good afternoon. Have a good one. Whatever you want it to be. It's to your heart's content, baby."
Worries. Have a good one, mate. A good what, you might ask. It doesn't actually matter. It's just a way of saying goodbye. Throw a shrimp on the barbie.
And there's plenty of shrimps on
It's
the
fake
bar.
news, isn't it?
Nah, this is
No.
actually not Australian at all. Don't say it. There is so much
Well,
cringe.
you did have some Aussies. That's Crocodile Dundee, right? Is that like a inside joke that he's?
Nah, this is actually not Australian at all. Don't say it.
Yeah, we've
There
seen.
is so much cringe value with this old Paul Hogan classic.
Oh, okay.
And
Just
by
a
the
Paul
way,
Hogan thing.
we call them prawns. These expressions are more than just weird phrases.
Shrimp on the
They're a
barbie
window
is
into
fake
the Australian
news.
culture and identity. They reflect the country's history, its sense of humour, and its values. And what I love about Aussie slang is that it's always evolving. It's always adapting to the times. Shoey is a great example of this, although one I'll probably give a miss personally.
Yeah. I've heard of those.
If you've got a favourite Aussie expression that I missed, be sure to share that in the comments below, and I will add that onto the next video that I make around the similar topic.
Right. Good stuff. Yeah, enjoyable. A lot of those words I definitely recognized. I definitely know. I should continue working on my Aussie accent for you guys. Some people are a little bit perturbed when people do it, which is like, whatever. I feel like on the West Coast here, us Canadians, we have such like mono accents across a very vast region, which is literally any. It's usually a region that has, like, Australia is like pretty closed off, so the accent that you guys have, even though there's a lot of variations between the regions in Australia, it's still like the Australian accent's pretty identifiable, pretty recognizable, I feel. Whereas if a group of people had to guess where I was from just from my accent, I don't know how well that would do, to be honest. A lot of them are just going to say I'm American, which you'll see in the comments a lot on various videos. People just like, they assume I'm Canadian, or they assume I'm American, I should say, when I'm from Canada. And obviously we're pretty close in a lot of ways culturally with the States. We're not close with them right now diplomatically. I mean, like, it's kind of a gong show with the American president right now. But anyways, we don't have to get into that, obviously. Hope you all enjoyed the video. I enjoyed it. I love Aussie slang. It's wonderful. All right. See you on the next one.